I had this aha moment planning my funeral. I was like, okay, well, I'm not ready to go. I've still got so much more to do. And then I realized how small I had been living, the limitations that I had. So once I'd had cancer, I was like, well, fuck it. Like nothing else could scare me as much. Let's go all in. Let's do it all. And I think everybody should do that. Like if your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough. Like we have one life. What are
Hmm.
you doing playing small? Like being a business owner is not for the faint-hearted. It will challenge you. But god damn, does it feel good.
If you want to make more sales without the pressure to post on social media, I made this podcast specifically for you. I'm Leslie Stevens, and this is the Not an Influencer, an Impact Maker podcast, where we talk about other organic marketing strategies to bring more clients into your online business and the stories of the incredible entrepreneurs who are using these strategies in their businesses every day to create success. You do not have to be an influencer to be an impact maker and build a successful online business. Today, we get to chat with Natalie, and I am beyond excited because she is so ready to share her journey so that you can learn from her and take the steps in the beginning of the process, which she is going through right now to grow her business. So, tell us a little bit about you and how you got started.
Hi, my name's Natalie, and I am a Brit living in Germany. And basically, my coaching business started out from my own health issues. I was diagnosed with colon cancer completely out of the blue at just 31 years old. And yeah, it was a really, really tough time. And unfortunately, a year later, it metastasized, and then that took me to stage 4. And during that time, I had a lot of support from my oncologist team, from the surgeons, from the nurses. But there wasn't a massive amount of support for my mental health. I did find one kind of out there program, a rehabilitation center for people with cancer, where it was a lot about holistic health. I learned about like meditation, art therapy, dance therapy, journaling, affirmations, all of that. And it was really treating the person holistically. And that really was a turning point in my own cancer journey, because I was just treating my body and I was in a really deep depression and I needed help to get out of it. And I did talking therapy and that was helpful, but it didn't give you like actionable tools to be able to do something. So I was like, okay, well, that's great. How can I do that, you know? So I did a lot of research and made a decision to certify as a transformational life coach, master NLP practitioner, and master clinical hypnotherapist. And now I am on a mission to empower women to navigate their own cancer journey with a positive mindset.
That is such an incredible journey. And so it's so important because there is that gap there where people need that support, but it's not always in that traditional healthcare system. So what you're
Mhm.
providing is absolutely incredible. But we know that there's this gap between like
Yes.
having the certification and being able to like provide the transformation for people and then actually getting clients in the door and building a business. So how did you start to learn how to fill that gap and start to bring clients through the door?
Well, first of all, I mean, my background is as an English teacher for a private school here in Germany. So I'm all about educating. And so I did a lot of research. I bought the books. I was consuming an awful lot of free content.
I love it.
Um, and that was great. But it got to this point where I was like, okay, I'm not like, I am an all or nothing kind of a person. And I was like, I don't want to do this slowly. You know, I did my course, I did the certificate, and they're like, you should be offering one-on-one um, coaching. And, you know, and I thought, well, if I do one-on-one, how many hours is that going to be? Like, I have a young family. I want to transition away from teaching to coaching. How am I going to do that? Like, how much content do I have to consume before I learn like the steps of business. And so I took the leap and I invested in a coaching and mentoring program. And two of the first things that my mentor said to me was, one, are you a content queen or a coach? And I was like, a coach? And she was like, okay, so why are you posting all the time on social media and doing all of these different things if you don't actually have a high ticket program? Like, how do people work with you? Why are you not coming at it from a place of, yes, I'm starting out, but what I have to offer is of value, and immediately start with a high ticket program? And it just really flipped my mindset of like, oh, I don't have to start at the bottom. I can start, you know, in the middle. So, like, I was posting on my social media, I was doing the things they tell you to do, but I just started commenting on different forums. I started having conversations with people. Um, and that's how I got my first few beta testers. I was like, hey, I'm doing this program, I'm doing my course as well. Um, I offered my course initially at a donation basis for testimonials and for feedback. And so now I'm at this stage where I have finished my master's program, like my master diploma, and I am now ready to open up my course to full paying clients. And so this transition, it's been a huge learning curve because I wanted this to be like a business. It's not an expensive hobby. And there's a lot to learn.
Yes, there definitely is.
Yeah. So my big thing has been getting my blueprint for my program, because the
Mm.
teacher in me wants to be a perfectionist. It wants, I like that side of me wants to have all my ducks in a row, all the material prepared, ready, uploaded on a portal for people to be able to access. And one of my key learnings has actually been messy action is better than no action. And
Absolutely.
you cannot progress until you're doing it. So actually having my clients and networking has just been amazing, because my two beta testers, of course, they have friends, they have their own network. And so just by word of mouth, I have like a waiting list of people, which is amazing. I haven't even launched my program yet. My lead magnet is actually going to be launched tomorrow.
Oh,
So
yay.
that's so amazing. Like, I've got all these irons in the fire. Like, I've got my lead magnet, I've got my sales funnel, and I'm not techie. So this is this has been challenging for me. But I have a waiting list of people and I haven't even started yet, all just from having conversations.
Yeah, and that's so incredible that you got that type of guidance so early on.
Yeah.
Because like you said, a lot of the advice that we see out there is just post on social media. Just keep
Hmm.
posting, post every day, make the algorithm happy. All of those things. And then we try and do that. But the real conversions from to get clients is from conversations.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I teach my clients is go out, have conversations. If you're not getting any clients, well, tell me how many conversations that you've had
Yeah.
this week, this month. And that could be the answer why you're not getting any clients. So, what was probably the biggest barrier for you when you were just getting started?
I think it was approaching my business from the perspective of being a successful business owner. There is a lot of mindset work actually involved in stepping into that new version of you and not looking at things from a place of scarcity. Like, I ummed and ahed about investing in a coaching and mentorship program because it's a lot of money to outlay after spending a lot of money on a qualification, and you're not really getting like money coming in or consistent money. It's kind of this feast or famine thing. And I had this idea like, once I'm successful, then I can afford to invest in a program. And my mentor at the time, she was doing a course and she said something. She's like, okay, imagine the successful version of you who has got the success that you want. She's got to where you want to be. And from this place of empowerment, what decision would she make? And I was like, well, she'd invest in the course. And she's like, exactly. You are not stupid. You can learn. Like, you can read the books and watch and consume all of the free content. But actually, there's just a lot of like why with a little bit of
Mhm.
the how. If you want to launch and be successful immediately, why not stand on the back of giants and learn from somebody who's got proven techniques, who can hold your hand, and all the while exposing you to a network of women or men, it depends on what program you're in, and it will challenge you. So it all comes down to this balance of time or money. Either way, you're spending an investment. And for me, having a young family, my time is valuable. And so I was like,
Mhm.
okay, then I will spend the money. And just in a few short months, my confidence level has just like skyrocketed. I am, like I said, I'm ready to step forward because I'm having conversations, but I've been working on my messaging. I know who my client avatar is. I know their heaven and their hell and how I can bridge the gap. And that's,
Mhm.
as coaches, I think where a lot of people fall down, we're talking about like, oh, this is where you want to be, but actually like we are selling them the bridge. Like we have to be that bridge, and we try and sell the bridge to them, and they don't want the bridge. They want their heaven. And I think that's
Mhm.
where I fell down a lot. And so learning to make decisions from a place of empowerment, realizing, okay, I'm going to have to spend some money
Mhm.
in order to bring money in. And that's, I mean, all the best people in business have it. If Richard Branson can have a coach, then why not
Mhm.
me?
Exactly, exactly. Something that you mentioned there is like a lot of that free content is the why and just a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of the how. And a lot of the times we think, okay, this person has given me the steps and this
Yeah.
freebie or this free training, and that's all I need to know. But
Yeah.
there's so much more that takes it so much deeper. And it's not about consuming all of this content either. It's about taking the actions, going
Mm-hmm.
out and actually doing the things, and not like a piece from this person's puzzle and a piece from this person's puzzle, because those pieces don't match up and we don't get the whole picture. It's about stepping in, taking action, maybe stumbling a few times. I know I have. Anybody you talk to about starting a business has taken the actions. They have stumbled and they have fallen, but that has allowed them to figure it out along the way, because every business is different. Every ideal client is different. You have to figure out what works for you in your business and integrate it all into this one whole that works with your life. If you have small children, like we both do, then we have to be very mindful of where we spend our time, and we need to get quite a big return on the time and effort and energy that we're putting into our business. Whereas some at other points in our life, other phases in our business, we can spend them in other places. But especially at the beginning, investing it with the right people, doing the right actions will get you that income more quickly. So
Exactly.
yeah. So, what would your best advice be for somebody who is just about to take the leap into being an entrepreneur?
Um, I would say make friends with your inner critic because like you have to be in it for the long haul. Like I realize that this is a marathon, not a sprint, and you have to be all in and you really have to know what is your reason why, because you are going to experience hardships and failures and perhaps, the little pinch of maybe not having enough money or whatever it is. And you have to have a strong enough reason why and the drive to go after it single mindedly, because like failure is only feedback. If I failed, I look at it of a place of like, okay, great, now I know what doesn't work, but I've learned something from it. Where a lot of people, I mean, I've met some people along the way in different forums, and they kind of throw in the towel at the first hurdle. And so you really have to make friends with that inner critic, that inner voice that's like, well, who told you you could do that? Who do you think you are? Because if you don't have the right mindset, you've already lost before you've begun.
Yeah, definitely. So, I love that you're talking about mindset so much, because I think it's such an essential tool as a business owner. So, can you give us any examples of how you use your mindset to break through barriers?
Yes, for sure. I mean, for me, with overcoming cancer, mindset is everything. So for me, I have this list, and I hope it's okay to swear, but if it's not, you can edit it. It's
No,
called
do it.
why I'm the shit. Like I am the shit. Um, like why I'm shit hot, and I write down a list of everything that I have ever done, that I have ever achieved, that has made me feel fantastic or worthy. Like the small things, the big things, everything. I celebrate them when I win, but I write this list down. It's in black and white. So when I have those days or those moments where I'm like, I'm not good enough, somebody's better than me, I don't know what I'm doing, is this really going to work? I
Mhm,
look at my list and like I've got it in black and white. Like you cannot argue with your own successes. And that is amazing. I also um, do a lot of visualization um, because
mhm,
what we learn in NLP, particularly, what the mind conceives, it truly believes, and it cannot tell the difference between fake and fiction, real or fiction. So if I visualize my success, if I can see it, and hear it and smell it and taste it, what my future version of myself looks like as a success. Now, it's not just NLP, it's also then the law of attraction and manifestation. I will become that version because my brain cannot conceive any other option. And I don't know
mhm,
if you've watched it, but there is a new docuseries on Netflix about Arnold Schwarzenegger. And his entire life has literally been manifested from him sitting in his bedroom, staring at these pictures of bodybuilders. And he had these big dreams. Like, if you think about it, his life experiences are insane. And so, like,
mhm,
having ability to visualize and having a clear goal, that is key.
mhm.
Write down what it is that you want to have. Don't just be like, I want to be successful. Great. Okay, dig into that. What does success look like to you? What
Yeah.
does success mean to you? How do you know when you'll be successful? Journal it out. Write down your like a day in your life of your dream life. Like go wild. Like who's to say that you can't do all of these different things? We put limitations on ourselves or from expectations from others. And for me, not just being a cancer survivor, I also had a near death experience from complications from surgery and a reaction to a painkiller I was taking. And I literally almost died. And I planned my funeral and everything. Like it was horrific. And yet, it is where I had this turning point. I had this aha moment planning my funeral. I was like, okay, well, I'm not ready to go. I've still got so much more to do. And then I realized how small I had been living, the limitations that I had. So once I'd had cancer, I was like, well, fuck it. Like nothing else could scare me as much. Let's go all in. Let's do it all. And I think everybody should do that. Like if your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough. Like we have one life. What are
Mhm.
you doing playing small? Like being a business owner is not for the faint-hearted. It will challenge you, but god damn it, does it feel good.
Oh yeah. It's part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I love what you said about like building that proof because there are going to be moments where like you are going to continuously be pushing yourself out of
Hmm.
your comfort zone at different stages at your business at the very beginning and for years to come. I can promise you that. And there are times where you need to remind yourself of that proof that like, hey, I've done hard things before and there's no reason why I can't do this. It's just sometimes very hard for us to see it when we're
Hmm.
not intentional about putting it in black and white, like you said. And then being so clear and visualizing what you want. Because when you get that clarity and when you have that end goal in mind, you start making decisions like that person that you want to be.
Hmm.
And if you're making decisions like the person you are right now, you're going to stay where you are right now. And if you want to get somewhere else, you have to start making decisions like that higher version of yourself or like that other version of yourself. So, those are two really, really good tips. If you didn't catch what she said, go back and write them down, take notes, and start doing those things today because those are things that you can do today to start moving forward.
Exactly. And that's what it's about. It's realizing that, okay, the end goal is huge, right? But if we chunk it down, if we make it manageable, like I have a 3 month plan. Like I know where I want to be at the end of the year, but I have a 3 month plan. And then I break down my 3 months into weeks and days. And particularly with having young children, I make it manageable. And then when I've got my mindset
Mhm.
and then I've got an action plan and I have a clear goal, like my success is inevitable. I truly believe that because I am not available for the alternative. Like it doesn't exist in my world.
Mhm.
I am already
Oh,
successful. It's just my level of success and how fast I get there. Like I am not available for any alternative where this does not work.
Oh, definitely. I love that so much. So, before we have to hop off here, I want to know two things. So, I want to know the best piece of advice you've gotten in business and then the worst piece of advice that you've gotten in business.
Ooh, that is a good one. Oh, those are really good questions. I would say the best
Well,
piece
because
of
I think
advice.
we
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I think we learn just as much from good advice as we do from bad advice because we
Hmm.
learn what we don't want to do, what doesn't align with us, or what doesn't work when we get some bad advice.
Yeah. I would say the best piece of advice is to stay true to who you are and what your goals are. I think it's very easy to get sucked into something and then at the end realize you've created a business that you are no longer aligned with and you're miserable. And like the reason most of us start our own businesses is because we want freedom. We want time freedom. We want financial freedom. We want freedom to be our own boss. And I think a lot of us end up creating something that is actually more work and less value than it would be if you had a job. So be mindful. And that's my best advice that I've got is to really know what you want to achieve and why you want to achieve it and get rid of the rest of the noise that's out there because that is taking away from your goal. Like it's not necessary. So yeah, being mindful of where you want to go. And the worst advice. This actually is probably sound advice for a lot of people, but it was this whole you have to have a concrete business plan. Now, I'm a planner and I'm an organizer, but God, they're so boring. They suck the life out of everything. And, trying to put pen to paper and be like, what is my forecast to projection for quarter 1? What is this, this, and this? And I'm like, okay, I know what I want to earn. I know how much I'm going to charge. I know how I want to get there. But like, I'm such a free spirit, and I really truly believe in manifesting and the law of attraction and the power of mindset and like magnetizing people to you by having the right message. Like, I don't need to have hundreds of thousands of people interested in what I do. I just need the right people and wasting time and
Mhm.
energy. I mean, it's not just the business plan, there is a lot of other things that you can spend your energy on. And then you're in the back office doing all of this stuff. But are you driving your business forward? If you're the face of your
Mhm.
business, like how can you be doing all of this paperwork and all of this stuff? Like just hire a VA to do it if you can, or invest in something, another investment. I've invested in a portal that I can do it. It's all one-stop shop. I can do my social media automation. I can do my email leads, my CRMs, everything in a one-stop shop. That to me is worth it rather than spending all of this time doing things the way it should be done with the business
Mhm.
plan and this thing and then that thing. Like I throw it out the window. Like the rule book doesn't apply to me.
There's a lot of things that make us feel like we're doing so much in our business, but it's just keeping us kind of busy because there are
Mhm.
so many things you can and should do in business. There are a lot of things to put into place, but if you're focusing on starting your business and getting
Mhm.
clients through the door, what actions are you taking to be clear with your message and how you're communicating the transformation that you can provide them, and then how are you getting in front of them so you get paying clients, not all
Exactly.
this stuff that you're kind of building in the background first. we get caught up in making sure we have everything in place first before we start bringing
Exactly.
people in. But that's why everyone kind of starts to feel like they're behind, because they haven't brought clients through the door and they've been working for months on making sure the back end is perfect,
Yeah.
when sometimes you just got to jump into the fire
Exactly.
and
Messy
figure it
action is
out as
better.
you go.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like the first thing I said, like messy action is better than no action. And it's like I'm setting myself up
Mhm.
for success by having this portal. So I have all my automations and stuff like that. But while I don't have a website, I literally have a page that just says website under construction. It is not stopping me. I have a link tree. I've got my social media, like I've got email. You can just DM me, I'm still like
Mhm.
powering forward. So yeah, don't get like bogged down in like the shoulds. Like I should do this. I should have that. Like you should not have something 100% perfect before you're ready to launch. It's too late then, because what will happen, you'll get to market and then your ideal clients will be like, actually, I would really like this, this, and this. And you've then wasted all this time. Like, have a good starting point, have a blueprint, have a framework, and kind of go with the flow. Be a little bit flexible. I think it adds a little bit more joy and more challenge. Like, I've started going live. That has been a journey for sure
Mhm.
because I like to record, I like to edit. So going live has also challenged me, and that's the point of being in business, isn't it? To challenge ourselves so we're constantly growing.
hmm And when you're in there having those conversations, getting started, working with people, or just talking to them on lives, getting
Hmm.
yourself out there, you're going to learn so much of what the market needs and how you can tailor your business to exactly what your ideal client wants, instead of just kind of hiding in the background and working in the background. Like, we've got to be in it. We've got to be evolving. We've got to be changing, just like the world is. So
Exactly.
I love, yeah, I absolutely love all the advice and all the information you have given us today. Can you tell us where people can connect with you and send you a message, have a conversation?
Yes, exactly. I am on Facebook, Instagram. I've just delved into the world of TikTok as well, which, yeah, I'm still learning how that works. But it's all at Natalie underscore life coaching. Yes. And so you can find me on there. And my website is under construction at the moment. But it will be live very soon. And that's nataliereadercoaching.com. But yeah, at the moment, I'm mostly on social media. And if you are someone who's going through their own cancer journey, I have actually just created an amazing cancer workbook that is completely free with a bonus guided meditation. And the link to that is also on my social media. So if you're interested, you can click and download that. And I look forward to catching up with you guys.
Perfect. And we will grab all those links from you and that freebie link so that they can sign up for it and become a part of that. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today. This has been the greatest conversation. What if I told you there was a way to get more leads in your online business without having to post on social media? That's something you'd want to know more about, right? Well, you can learn exactly that in my free training, where I will teach you how to leverage simple conversations to turn strangers into paying clients, as well as how to borrow other people's audiences to build your authority, credibility, and connect with new potential clients, as well as how to make sales simple and easy. Click the link in the description or go to Client Connection Method